Hello, everyone, and welcome to the virtual Cobalt Cafe. It's week number 302 of our virtual series. Happy to have you all here with us. My name is Rick Lupert. Uh, I think I'm very tired. I'm not really sure about anything at this point, but I'm probably Rick Lupert. Tonight, in addition to our open reading, our featured reader is Laura Cresté. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly with the accent aigu over the second E. Okay, good. Um, 7 years of junior high and high school French have finally come in handy. So there you go. So Laura, happy that you were here. We're going to do a chunk of our open reading first and then hear from Laura. And then we will have the rest of our open reading. Just so you know, Denise Dumars, in a few minutes, you will be up first in the open reading, thanks to the random gods that I pray to every Tuesday night. If you would like to participate in the open and you haven't already done so, please send me a message in the chat and I will add you to the list. As always, you get to read up to two poems, and the official time limit is less is more. So keep that in mind. Please have the chat room open so you can interact with each other since everyone is muted. Otherwise, and finally, we do have a one drink minimum here at the Cobalt Cafe. I'm drinking tequila tonight, which is very strange that it's not whiskey since as I mentioned before we started, since the last time I was here, I've had 39 different Scotch whiskeys. Makes me sound like kind of a lush, but in practice, having a whiskey a night, though I guess if I was only gone for 12 nights, how does the math work out? Because at one point, when you're at the distilleries going on tours, they give you three little tiny samples, which, barely equal an entire whiskey. So I really don't have a problem, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to be fine that I'm drinking tequila tonight because that is the tradition on Tuesday nights. I believe that's everything I need to tell you before we get to our open reading. But before we get to our open reading, I would like to ask if there are any questions. Cathabella, yes.
Oh, Rick, can you tell me about the last somersault you did?
Um, I really can't. And I periodically I have this, I see someone doing a cartwheel or a somersault. And I remember as a child that you could just do those, that was just part of your repertoire of possibilities. And it just felt like, well, I know how to do that. I could do that. And I haven't attempted to lately, but I'm not sure that it would go as well as I think it would, or as I remember it going.
Right, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
you did it when you were little, so I bet you have a dim little memory of that.
Yeah, I feel like there's muscle memory, but I'm also living in great fear that I'm going to screw it up and die. And so that's
Right.
kind of where I'm at in terms of somersaults and cartwheels.
Thank you, Rick. That's
Sure,
great.
thank you, Cathabella. Martin, what's your question?
Oh, good evening, Rick. I don't know, for some reason this evening I was wondering if thinking about your ancestors ever inspires your poetry.
Oh, yes, all the time, as a matter of fact, especially in my um, Torah portion poems. I'm like constantly waxing on about the past and trying to draw connections between who came before and me. So yes, quite a bit.
Cool. Glad to hear it.
All right, good question. Thank you, Martin. Hermione, you have your hand up. Where are you? There you are. Do you have a question?
I'm not able to, oh, hello? Did you enjoy your vegan haggis in Scotland?
Yes, I had vegetarian haggis, I think 3 times, and I think 2 of those times it was vegan. Um, uh, uh, it wasn't terrible. It was all kind of bland, honestly. It didn't taste all that interesting. Haggis, I found, at least the vegetarian version, it's really all about the sauce you put on it. And there's a traditional whiskey mustard sauce, which kind of made it taste interesting and good. Otherwise, it's really kind of all texture without a lot of flavor, which might describe a great deal of United Kingdom food. Don't get me started on mushy peas.
Well, welcome
Thank,
back. We're so glad you're back.
Good to be back. Thank you, Hermione. All right, well, I don't see any other questions, so we are going to get to our open reading. 5 open readers, and then our featured reader, Laura Cresté. So, Ken, Scott, you are on deck. Please welcome our first reader, Denise Dumars. Hello, Denise.
Hi, everybody. And Martin, I got your latest email, so I have to look at those products. They look interesting. Okay, I have 2 tonight. First one I'm going to read is sort of a science fiction-y one, and then the next one is a new one that's a little bit more about the mundane. But nevertheless, this one is the science fiction one. It's called Sheer Dark. Why do we feel in colors? Exploring the red and black of it, in the shifting dusk that wounds as it thrills. This is orbit, the way they wanted us to feel, tempting us so that we would do their bidding, and so it is. Soft send each tone and shadow, feel the searing yellow of glutted dawn, our playground. But the ebon stars of strange night emit each awaited pulse, our garden of exquisite wonder. There is nothing of this in other hues, and oh, they know it. Tell me tenderly of each broken beam of that dying solar orb, the blackest heaven of moon awaiting us, veiled and luscious, a respite from the light, another velvet engulfing a last delight, a universe released from hue. And this one is new, and it's thank you, and it's I don't like the ending of this one yet, but I don't know what else to do with it. It's called Arco Station. We're clustered around gas pumps 3 through 6, smiling widely with our chipped teeth, laughing nervously with each other, like strangers at a party. And it is a party. People that the young people love to hate, the not quite destitute boomers. The skinny guy with his dented truck and big brown dog, the Zoftig suicide blonde in her Frigidaire white land yacht, and me with gray roots and tie-dyed shirt. All of us sharing one fraying squeegee. But we keep smiling at the happiness that comes from gas prices coming down to $4.85 a gallon, bringing us the mobility that our legs just sometimes can't do. Thank you.
Denise, thank you. 2 very different but very good poems to start us off with. I especially appreciate the squeegee reference in the second poem. Don't get me started on squeegees as well. There's a lot of things I should not be started on, I'm discovering today. Thank you very much for being here. Thanks for starting us off. Well done. Round of applause for Denise Dumars. On deck, the collab, Cathabella, Jackie, and Siggy. Please welcome now Ken.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I've got 2 romance and dating related poems that I'm going to do this evening that are from back in the days, like 2017-ish, kind of sort of. Well, one is 2024. And I'll start with the more recent one. This piece, oh shoot, sharing is not turned on. Is it okay if I share screen? Okay. This first piece, I might have done it before. It's called Late Stage Dating. We as American singles need to ask ourselves, what does the dating scene in a predatory, late-stage capitalist society really look like? Can such a dating scene even exist in a healthy way while functioning in a place that reduces the human soul to profitability for the rich? And how can you tell that you are not the umpteenth payday to yet another love interest who is obsessed with the hustle toward the very negation of all human dignity? What good is love when you cannot even keep food on your table, clothes on your back, and a roof over your head? And how romantic do you think your homeless tent or mine really sounds? You will never be happy when you own nothing, and you will never find true love. Capitalism is pure evil. That's that one. The next piece I'm going to do on a much lighter and more loving note. This is the older piece. And this one is called A Simple Thank You to My Lady Love. My sweetest lady love, I just wanted to take some time out of our day to thank you from the deepest sanctuaries of my soul for being in my life. I just wanted to thank you for being such a gentle blessing of beauty and peace. I just wanted to thank you for your loving presence of constant nurture and faithful comfort. Thank you for your patient words of wisdom and encouragement when I needed them the most. Thank you for always seeing the light of eternal love in me, and for always standing alongside me, helping me to overcome the darkness. Thank you for simply being an abundant gift of eternal love in my life, for simply being my sweetest and most devoted friend, for simply being my lifelong lady love. I will always love you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Lovely poem of gratitude and love that you ended with there. Thank you so much for that. Thanks for being here. Round of applause for Ken Scott. On deck, Ellen Thea. Please welcome now the collab, Cathabella, Jackie, and Siggy. Hello to all three
Thank
of
you,
you.
Rick. Let me see if I can find where we are here. All is hard. It wants to hide from me. It always does at the beginning. Let's see if I can find the world here. Oh, gosh. Should be here. Should be here. Okay, here's for Cobalt. And here is a somersault. Now, will you appear? Are you going to hide? Oh, I think it will. It will appear. Yes. Okay, our somersault. So Warren is a wonderful poet that's been inspiring us. He's a good friend of Kazuaki, and I've known him for years. He works in a hotel and almost never can appear live on Zoom, but he is in beautiful purple. Taking the trash out tonight, I have this sudden desire to do a handstand. I miss my childhood. Jackie.
The bin filled to the brim again. This eternal fuss about who takes out the trash.
And here's Kazuaki. Siggy, would you like to read Kazuaki? He's with us as much as he can be.
Juvenile days, I pushed myself to the edge of the rye until the catcher barely caught me. Kazuaki.
I think a lot of us feel like that. Jackie.
Exasperated
you there,
Can you
Jackie?
scroll down a little bit? Oh,
Up this way?
sorry. No, the one above this one. Exasperated in a long bus ride, I lose track of what I want in life.
I know that feeling, absolutely. Siggy.
Monday, trash day. Roll large bags to curb. Never could do a handstand. Roll without problems.
I love that, Siggy. Do you still do that?
Yes.
Now here's Roy. He's a wonderful friend and he's been writing with us and he teaches third graders and kindergarten. And he says this, maybe Jackie, you could read Roy. Can you read it?
Yes, my third graders wanted me to do a somersault. My shoulder hurt for a week, but I did.
Yeah, he says it still kind of hurts. Can't resist it. I skipped through someone's 20 square hopscotch on the sidewalk, back and forth 3 times. I just did that the other day. Very cheerful looking. I don't know who makes it on the sidewalk, but somebody a lot younger, I think, and very cheerful. Jackie.
Circling my apartment, caffeine or infatuation, this exuberance.
I can just see you walking around feeling like that in your room. Early morning, I open my windows to love. His passion for the comics with a good coffee made by me. Siggy.
My father said I'd lose my head if not attached. A relief, most things gone, not missed. Except the house or car keys.
Very good, Siggy. I think we all know how each other feels. Yay. Thank you, everybody.
you.
We had fun.
Thank you, everyone.
And this is Rick. Rick is my husband.
This is a Palan dog from the Philippines. It's one of the 3 types of bamboo flutes that they have, and Wikipedia says it's the hardest because of the strange mouthpiece there. Bamboo, Philippines.
Hardest to play or hardest
Hardest to
material?
play. There's a suling and a something else and the Palan dog. And Wikipedia said this is the hardest to play.
It's unusual looking too.
Yeah,
it
well,
has a funny end and a
Yes,
funny
yes,
beginning.
that's just decorative, that spoon-like end, and who knows why. That's the way they walk in the
And
Philippines.
show the other side too.
Well, I did. Everyone's seen it more than they want.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Thank you.
Put your flute hole away, Rick.
Okay, that was fun.
All right,
Thank
you
Rick.
guys, thank you very much. That was great. I resonated, especially the phrase "the good coffee" resonated with me because that's always my foundation of the day.
Yeah.
So thank you guys very much. Thank you, Cathabella, Jackie, Siggy, and Rick. Great job tonight. 2 more readers than our featured reader, Laura Cresté. Martin Parker, you're on deck. Please welcome now
That was very
Ellen Thea. Hello, Ellen.
Thank you.
yeah.
Hello. So it's been a while since I've been here, and yes, it has been a little bit crazy. My person Dave had 2 strokes in the space of 2 weeks. A couple of weeks after my birthday, on his birthday, he spent it in the hospital with stroke. So, and I got frustrated and banged my hand on a piece of furniture, so I couldn't write for a little bit, but it was the only way I could do a Vulcan agreement. So I wrote one thing. Actually, I wrote two, but I was hard to write with my hand. So I have one poem for tonight that came out of this mishigas that I'm in right now. Mishigas is Yiddish for cluster, okay? For those who don't know. Anyway, this is called, and it had to do also with me having not been doing open mics for quite a while. So this is Once Upon a Time. Once upon a time, I made the scene. Once upon a time, I was the scene. And once upon a time, I dug being seen on the scene because, you know, the scene is the scene and where it's at, man. And once upon a time, I dug the scene. Being part of the scene was groovy, but then the scene is always changing, is it not? Or it's not worthy of being the scene anymore. So I made a scene. I dropped out of the scene. I went through my own scene, a scene of my own, like a scene of my own, like Virginia, the wolf woman, says. And the scenery is changing rapidly. And to be seen on the scene, for what to accept, to be seen on the scene after the scene, can you be truly seen on the scene that's on a seeming screen? That's what came out of the chaos.
Nothing like a good mashugas to inspire art. Ellen, we're glad you're part of our scene, and I hope your husband has a complete and speedy recovery.
He's
And
doing
really
he's doing
glad to
much
see.
better than I expected. Much better.
Good, glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Nice to see you again. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
And stay crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Round of applause for Ellen Thea. Thank you, Ellen. On deck is our featured reader, Martin Parker. Please welcome now. Sorry, featured reader Laura Cresté. Please welcome now Martin Parker.
Hello again, Rick. Got a couple poems here. The first one is a relatively recent one here called Support. I feel the ground beneath my feet as atoms full of empty space combine in ways I cannot see and hold me up within this place, while memories of ancestors' love and others who have passed my way will lend my spirit support from above through the tribulations of this day. And as I've been doing, I've been searching for a poem that with a similar title to mine to do a cover poem. And I came across this poem that I believe I've come across before, and I just had to share it. It's a little bit longer title by the poet Philip Dacey, an American poet originally from St. Louis. Upon sending his child support check to L.L. Bean and his check for the sleeping bags to his ex-wife. Dear God of misaddressed envelopes, let her not consider this order an invitation to zip ourselves together in the deep woods. Nor let the Maine outfitter spend hours searching his storeroom for runaway children so distraught from divorce, their only comfort is LL Bean clothes, but let instead my children learn to sleep in bags even if they should happen to be misaddressed and sent, flying through the air at incredible speeds like canceled checks a computer spits out, like planets on their own, and let them dream in those swift bags of support of their mother as strong as the rooted trees campers can count on, of their father happy to be at desks on street corners or anywhere, passing out all the wrong checks to all the right people. And thank you so much, everyone, as always, for your support. And I'll put my links in the chat for my designs.
You,
don't have my t-shirt, but I do have a Hitchhiker's Guide t-shirt, so I might get points for that, I think, from Rick.
At least 42 of them. Martin, thank you. I've always dreamed of being a person, the right person to get the right check. So we'll see if that happens. Thank you so much for being here. And
What
don't
the future
panic.
is exactly. Trying not to.
Round of applause. Round of applause for Martin Parker. Thank you, Martin. On deck after our featured reader will be Ike Waltz, which leads us now to our featured reader, Laura Cresté. Laura is an East Coast poet, lives in Massachusetts, but as she revealed to us earlier, she's currently in the state of New Jersey. I don't think I mentioned this at the time, but I was actually born in New Jersey uh, at Edgewater Hospital and lived in Inglewood, or maybe I was born in Inglewood and lived in Edgewater. I don't remember. We left New Jersey when I was one. Anyway, Laura, if you can find out while you're there, please let me know. Laura is the author of the book, which came out last year on Four Way Books, In the Good Years, which received a silver medal from the North American Book Awards. That's pretty darn good, Laura, as well as a book called You Should Feel Bad, which is a fantastic title, which won a 2019 Chapbook Fellowship from the Poetry Society of America. Or I don't know if that book did, or you were just the winner of that, and that's what came out of it. Either way, great things. The book, already mentioned that, has also been longlisted for the Nusrat Yassini Poetry Prize, named a finalist for the Patterson Poetry Prize, and is currently longlisted for the Massachusetts Book Awards. So this book, In the Good Years, apparently has it going on, and excited to hear some work from it. Laura has an MFA from New York University and has received fellowships and other support from the Fine Arts Work Center in Provincetown, the Sewanee Writers Conference, the Tin House Summer Workshop, the Community of Writers, Monson Arts, and the St. Botolph Club Foundation. Her work has appeared in the American Poetry Review, Bennington Review, the Cortland Review, the Kenyon Review, the Yale Review. Basically, if it's got the word review in it, Laura's work has probably been in it or will be in it soon. Laura, I'm really happy that you're here with us. Oh, most importantly, you're a relatively new mom, and your 1-year-old could disrupt these festivities at any moment, and we are prepared for it. We're excited to hear your work, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome our featured reader, Laura Cresté.
Thank you so much, Rick. That was such a nice introduction. And yeah, there's so many things I want to touch on. Englewood, yes, very close by. So it's nice to know that you have some New Jersey connections. As so many people do, surprisingly, because it's such a tiny state, but we are the most densely populated. So there's a lot of us running around out there and moving to different places. Oh yeah, I do have my baby is in the other room with my mother, so hopefully the grandma time will keep him occupied. But if he hears me reading poems, he might get curious and come in. So we'll see. Who knows what will happen? Um, yeah. And as Rick mentioned, this is my book that came out, I guess almost a year ago. It'll be a year in September. Um, and I usually like to start reading the first poem in the book, because I feel like it just sets the stage well for the various concerns of the book. And it's sort of an old one, like I think Ken had mentioned reading old poems like from 2017. I think this one too is like a 2017 or 2018 poem. Um, all right, this is called Dead Horses. I like to imagine when horses were unremarkable as Toyotas, when you wouldn't turn to your companion after spotting them in a field and say, horses. I'm alive because an ancestress on horseback caught a man's eye on Ocean Parkway. He followed her in his car. They married. Across the hemisphere, my great-grandfather hoisted his 13-year-old bride onto a horse and stole her away. When she saw her mother again, they were both old women. But I wouldn't wish it undone. I want to get born. I never asked my grandmother what she loved about horses. Shattering speed, how their eyelashes look human, that they're loyal as dogs but dignified. She owned something like 1/60th of a racehorse. She's not alive, but just Zip It still is. I tell a friend I'm thinking a lot about dead horses, and she believes I mean dying, the broken back in Anna Karenina or the glue factory. No, I am thinking of my own dead and how they were carried. Once saddled across a mare named Ramona, I was afraid of the burden of my body, that she would buckle, an animal once ridden into war. I was a teenager and jealous of the freedom I imagined belonged to the thin. Now I know no one feels free, not even the creature who devoured the countryside, ravenous for the time we were allowed in the field. Also, this just reminds me after reading it that the name of the horse mentioned in the poem, Just Zip It, I said is still alive. And for many years that was true, but it's finally no longer true. But in the poem it is. I guess in the poem he gets to be immortal. Um, this next one is the second poem of the book, and it's called Overripe, which is, I think, appropriate for a very, very humid summer. Overripe. Sometimes it's like this. Slugs discover the basil, no matter where it's planted. Batshit on the welcome mat. I cave in the burrow between cherry tomatoes and rosemary. Every day the chipmunks dig anew until I fill the hole with sticks, menacing as the Blair Witch. After storms, I skim the drowned and stunned from the pool. Today's accounting, one dead frog, newts, 3 dead, 2 living, flung far from where the late tomatoes split, lewd as Jesus with his bloody heart. Mike tends to never-ending tasks, neatening the yard of fallen twigs, while I believe in entropy and let it alone. We drive to the farm with corn stacked on ice. At the ignition turn, a chipmunk crawls from the hood, and we confound each other through the glass. A baby, glimpsed and then gone. I wish I remembered the look of it as well as I do the frog, its terrible skin, clear coating sliding off like jelly, bubble taut across its mouth. When insurance stops covering my birth control, I give it up and feel slightly more animal, sore breasts, and more so when I trade plastic for a shampoo bar and turn greasy from the coconut. The radishes never take. Snakes undulate in the pool and leave their skins behind on the stone wall, flimsy dresses I'd shuck off as I climbed drunk into bed for years. The therapist in my phone asks if the meditation he prescribed is helping. Does it matter? I just need the summer to end, for the garden to die back a little. That was a COVID summer poem. Not that it comes up directly in the poem, but that's just the claustrophobia of that poem always makes me think of just like a lot of time spent in the house and in the garden and not really seeing other people. Yes. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. Also in honor of being in New Jersey right now, I'm going to read this poem called "This Is Just to Say," a title I've very clearly stolen from William Carlos Williams, the most famous person to come out of my hometown of Rutherford, New Jersey. I like to call him our patron saint. This is just to say. William Eric Williams, son of the poet doctor, was my pediatrician until I was 4 and he died. He gave me a chickenpox shot and a sticker for being brave, while my mother told him she knew the poem about the plums by heart. He said that wasn't really a poem, just a note for his mother. In the blue house on Ridge Road, I was knocking my heels against history, oblivious. I was eating a cherry lollipop and affixing the sticker to my velvet dress, ruining the feel. His father hated and loved our town as much as I would one day. A very bad environment for poets, he called it. And that was when we were still a bit pastoral. I never saw chickens, none that were living, and the only wheelbarrow was symbolic, red, chained to a tree outside the library. We had plums in our yard and crab apples, until all the trees got brown rot. Not quite 3 square miles, a dry town. A blue line was painted between the yellow on the road outside the police station. I went to school with the children of too many cops. Their houses didn't grow any flowers. The year after college, when I came back and would get drunk across the railroad tracks where bars were permitted, go home with men who'd once starred in school plays. Backstage, I'd silently hand over the costume changes. Like me, they lived with parents, but had finished basements, etc. On very clear nights on the porch of the bar, waiting to get drunk enough to kiss someone, I could see the moon rising over the stadium in the distance. It was renamed for an insurance company, but who wouldn't rather imagine giants? Usually when I read this in East Coast venues, I don't bother to say it feels like overstating it, but that's, Giant Stadium was then renamed MetLife Stadium, which is just far less beautiful. But maybe you're less familiar with the reference as a bunch of writers on the West Coast, because God knows I don't know anything about sports outside of my own immediate bubble. Um, Richard, that's funny. Um, this next one is called Controlled Burn, which is another COVID era poem. 7 trees come down, and then the trees are burned to rid the yard of branches, brambles. Smoke drifts thick through the coat of the German shepherd who belongs to the tree cutters. He snaps a twig that an hour ago hung in the sky. He breaks it, joyfully mossing his mouth. It makes the sound of biscotti. This morning in the house where Mike grew up, I pointed at a trap door outside our bedroom, leading to an attic we've never seen. He said 3 times, "I feel like I'm going to wake up." We sleepwalk through the day to the dull whine of a chainsaw. We know now trees are social creatures, feeding sugar to the young and the sick through their roots. They can keep alive a cut stump for decades, the time it will take the collagen to abandon my face and cartilage in my knees to grind down to nothingness. When I was a child, afraid of dying, my father told me there was no heaven, but we stay in the earth, alchemize into trees. I can't tell you the horror I felt then, having expected angels. The smoke thins from a billow to a plume while the men turn trunks into logs, and the dog works over a new stick. He was named for a city in New York that was named for an ancient city that burned, but he doesn't know. The dog loves his stick the way I love my mind, whirring the same grooves into whatever fresh thing he's given. A friend once told me when she was reading my manuscript before it was in, final book form, and she was giving me edits. She said she searched for the word dog in my book, and I think it came up something like 70 times, which is surprising because I don't actually have my own dog, but somehow the dogs of my childhood and various family members loom large in these poems. Yeah. I think that I might as well, now that I've said that, I might as well read another dog poem. This one is called Socrates with Fleas. Um, After his mom dropped him off, he attacked his tail like it didn't belong to him. So I scooped him up, 10 pounds of resistance in my arms, and Mike applied the chemical potion, careful not to sting his eyes, while I held him in the tub like a baby on my chest facing the world, flea shampoo running down our legs, while the dog, named for a philosopher, tried to flail out of my arms like a caught fish at the bottom of a boat, his last chance before being gutted. Watery in certain lights, he is more like a furtive land-bound prey. His rabbit heart leapt into my palm, slamming the wall of his grizzled chest. He was wary of Mike for 2 days, But I was the favorite, followed from couch to bed to toilet, as if I were protecting him, as if I hadn't been part of it. I read the Galway Canal poem where he says to his infant, "I think you think I will never die." Children grow up, but dogs never have to. Socrates thinks nothing ever dies, not even the gecko he catches in his jaw, once in all his years of chasing. He learns you can swallow the tail and the lizard still escapes with his life. A year later, Mike thinks he came up with the name Socrates. No, I have to tell him, I invented it, and you were so impressed with me. Um, Timing. I think I'll just do two more. And thank you all so much for being here and for inviting me to read. This seems like a really wonderful, like tight-knit community. So it's nice to just get a glimpse into what you all have going on and hearing your poems. So thanks for having me. This one is called Egg Party. The spring my systems go wrong, I throw a party where the theme is eggs. Chicken eggs deviled and overburdened, caviar held precariously to potato chip by a slick of cream. The idea is rebirth, claim whatever rituals remain palatable. Spring of resisting augury, not interpreting what it means that one part of my body wants to kill another part. In the dark socket of jar, the black row team. Some people are nauseated by clusters, a shucked pomegranate disclosing its cells, studded face of a sunflower enough to swoon. That's not what makes me sick. I spoon, I scratch the blood from boiled egg halves with a fingernail. I am now buzzing with terrible purpose. White blood cells assemble in my throat like a swarm of ants taking down larger prey. I'll be obvious and picture a butterfly, the thyroid always described as a winged gland. Meanwhile, I go on chopping dill and tapping eggs open against the sink. My friend, a twin, helps peel, cracks a double yolk, and misses her sister. This spring in the forest, a small bird hooked onto my palm with devastating trust. 2 sunflower seeds slotted into her beak as I fit into my life, almost comfortably, almost equal to the task, the daily braveries required. At the party where no one is heartbroken, there's a touching fidelity to theme, the florals and golds, the small wants. Egg whites fizzing the whiskey in our cups, the possible fish popping against teeth. All right, and this last one is like a forward-looking poem that I wrote, I guess, 10 or so years ago, just imagining having a child. And now I have one, and I can hear him crying in the other room. I'm not sure if the sound is making it all the way to you all, but yeah, always funny to me to read that poem when in his vicinity. And this is the penultimate poem in the book. And when it was in the chapbook, it was the very last one. So I always think of it as a fitting poem for endings. A poem for my children born during the 6th extinction. The first things kids learn in school are the seasons. By now, they already know their colors, maybe even their addresses. My children will learn hurricane and wildfire. It is summer, and then it is winter. They won't know the sweet weeks of early June, honeysuckle, wearing a sundress without sweat pooling behind a knee, maybe even a little cold at night. They might not know bumblebees, not personally. Polar bears they'll read about like dinosaurs. We'll still have the old-fashioned disasters, broken elbow, split lip. I'll try not to scare them, but when I see them eating unwashed grapes, I'll tell them about pesticides. One will forget, but the other won't eat fruit for years. When they ask if I believe in heaven, I will lie. When they're little, I'll want them to feel safe. When they're older, I'll want them to believe their bones will lie dumb in the earth forever. This is your one life. They'll want to know what their parents did before they were born. We had dinner parties, traveled a little, not enough, read our friends' books, had a dog they won't remember but will pretend to, and too many plants. Water damaged the windowsill and lost our deposit. When our spider plant mothered into 12 stalks, we potted them, called them the spiderettes. They were supposed to be housewarming gifts, but we didn't know 12 people moving. We tried not using too much plastic, not eating too much meat. It didn't matter. We knew our children's lives would get worse every year. We thought they might like to be here anyway, to know oceans, ice cream, optic nerves, the flowers, and all their names. Thank you so much.
Laura, thank you so much. I was just really struck by that line. We knew our children's lives would get worse each year. You've just summed up human existence, and it sent me off into a spiral, and said a whole lot of other things, which I really liked as well. Before you started reading, the idea that there's a lot of just New Jersey people running around I thought was kind of cool. I guess I'm a New Jersey person, though I don't really remember it, but I'm proud to be a part of that group of people infesting the rest of the communities that exist. A lot of great lines in New York, a whole lot of great lines. I want to get born, and 1/60th of a racehorse really struck me. You may not know this, but there's this Jewish concept that if you visit a sick person, you take away 1/60th of their illness. So the whole, like, just that you came up with 60th and that was the particular thing, that was kind of interesting.
Wow, I did not know that. That's great to know. Thank you for telling me that.
Sure. Yeah, happy to help. Was William Carlos Williams' son really your pediatrician?
He was, yeah. Yeah, he was a great pediatrician, William Eric Williams. He was, I think in his 90s when he was still practicing when I was little. And my mom liked him as a doctor so much, she would always say that when he would like listen to my chest or my sister's chest, just, hear like, and say like, oh, their lungs are clear, she would feel so relieved because she's like, that man has been listening to babies' chests for, 60 years or something. He really knows what he's doing. And he had a lovely like bedside manner. So like his father, lovely man. Not a poet though, that I'm aware of at least.
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean the whole concept of like someone who's like very old, older than his father during his father's heyday, and sort of in your own from your own concept at the very worst part of his life, as well. That's really interesting. What a great connection to have had. I also really like the idea of an egg party, and I thought, wow, you could have any kind of party you want, and why not an egg party? So
Yeah.
very good. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed your work a whole lot. I'm gonna paste some stuff in the chat and share the screen to show people the broadside I made for another poem, the poem that you sent me. There it is. You can download this now at the Cobalt website, Cobalt Poets website that link I pasted in the chat. It's an 11 by 17 print that you can look at, download, print out, whatever you would like. It's there. I hope you'll consider tipping Laura for her reading. Laura's Venmo is pasted into the chat, and that's how you do that. Same thing as if you're at an in-person reading and a hat goes around to put in money for the featured reader. Well, the Venmo is the hat. So please consider doing that to thank Laura for her reading, to endure reading poetry to us while her 1-year-old is crying in the other room. That's got to be difficult as a mom to not just get up and go to hell with this. My kid needs me, so appreciate that, Laura. There's also 2 links to Laura's book in the Good Years, one on Amazon and one at bookshop.org. And finally, a link to Laura's website, lauracreste.com. So check all that out. And Laura, I really appreciate that you were here and read to us, and feel free to come back and be a part of our tight-knit community anytime you'd like. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. I had a great time. And I'm excited to hear the rest of the readers. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Laura. A round of applause for our featured reader, Laura Cresté. Really great reading. Next week, our featured reader will be Kristen Montealegre, who is actually here today. I don't know if Christian's going to read in the open. Feel free to let me know if you'd like to read today, Christian. So, Christian, happy that you're here today and looking forward to your featured set next week, which brings us to the rest of tonight's open reading. Here's who I have on the list in this order: Ike Waltz, Richard Loringer, Christopher T. George, Jared Campbell, Bill Gaines, Dig Wayne, and me. If anyone else would like to be added, please send me a message in the chat. As always, 2 poems maximum, less is more is the time limit. On deck is Richard Loringer. Please welcome now Ike Waltz. Hello, Ike.
Hello, and thank you, Laura. Beautiful. 4th of July, COVID 2021. Independence Day, not commonly understood. And our firecracker headline national news writes, Kim Kardashian was seen in Italy without a mask, braless, careless, braless, carefree, for all Italian men, for all Italian women, for all Italian children to see. What did these Italians see? What they not already saw all summer, every day, so topless on the beaches of the Mediterranean Sea, always for free. Imagine nudity for free. And what did she do? She exposed a glimpse of American news, and that under her stylish cardigan, and the layered under revealed by an unbuttoned, suggestive shirt, and that raised eyebrows in that exceptional American land, unleashing an arousing inkling when unveiling that iconic American braless boob, too exaggerated boobs. But no nipples? Oh no, no, no. A nipple remains an anatomical riddle. We are, after all, American. American nipples are never ever a show. Did you know? Even nursing babies are taught to close their eyes. That's how we squirt American freedom around the world. Just using one newsworthy American clean thought, a pleasure in the road to damnation in our Puritan world. 5th of July, COVID 2021. Independence observed. What is that? My neighbor said. Headline, National News said. Britney Spears conservatorship in ruins. Britney Spears, I've been in denial. Britney Spears, I've been in shock. Britney Spears, I'm traumatized. Britney Spears, I'm not happy. Britney Spears, I can't sleep. Britney Spears, I'm so angry. It's insane. Britney Spears, I'm depressed. Britney Spears, I cry every day. Britney Spears is rescuing the all-American BS. That's how we squirt American freedom around the world, using just one headline-worthy, clean American word. And then, on the same day, Kim Kardashian, yes, our Kim Kardashian does not meet the Pope. He was not pleased with her booty. He did not agree to see her boobie. Oops. One pair of American Puritan boobs without the miracle of the tits? Wow, mumbled the fragile Pope. If American women have no nipples, what's the point? Nature hidden under titty tapes. Even Jesus can't believe this shit. 4th of July, COVID 2021, Independence Day. Headline, national news. We understand. Another mass shooting today. At least 314 this year. An average of 11 per week, or at least one every single day. Common sense remains to be a foreign word. Common sense, so not invented here. NIH, they say. The American dream brutally undermined the land of the free, shackled by an outdated Second Amendment, the home of the brave, afraid of updating the Second Amendment, the land of opportunities besotted by overwhelming greed. And what do? We blame the mentally ill. Yes, we have become the tyrants of our own minds, but how can we change? Yes, the land of opportunity can reach a happier form of freedom, but let us be brave enough to stop the Second Amendment from shooting the First Amendment in the foot. 2026, and what do we do now? The red card is long overdue. Thank you.
Thank you, Ike. I'm glad you got that off your chest. Thank you so much for being here. Great and fun poem. And nudity for free, I think, is something just want to appreciate the concept there. That we've finally achieved that in America, if you know the right websites to go to. Ike, thank you so much for being here. A round of applause for Ike Waltz. Fun poem tonight. On deck, Christopher T. George. Please welcome now Richard Loringer. Hello, Richard.
Hi, and as I said at the beginning, it's so nice to see everybody. I've been gone for most of a year because I joined a performance troupe and been doing dance and music, and who knows why do we do anything? So, but I hadn't written much poetry, and about a month ago, I don't usually do this sort of thing. I signed up for an online poetry writing marathon where you had to write one poem an hour for 12 or 24 hours or whatever. I didn't know if I would, but I woke up at 5:55 in the morning and put a pen in my hand and logged on and wrote a sonnet. And then I was like, what? And it was a pretty good one. And I was like, oh, I have to write another poem now. The next hour I wrote another sonnet. Anyway, I don't know where this came from, but I ended up writing for 15 hours straight, and I wrote a crown of sonnets, which I've never done before in my life. So I ended up with 15 interconnected sonnets, sort of about, well, what the hell we should do with our sort of broken culture. And I'm going to read two of the sonnets, which are pretty short because they're sonnets. The whole piece is called Breaking Crown, and they're in tetrameter, not pentameter. For the formalists, I'm happy to, go down anytime about that. But anyway, these are sonnets 9 and 10 from Breaking Crown. Let the pain settle in, and remember your skin, how it tingles and crawls at the lightest caress. Just as you are oppressed by the threat of abrasion, the body so fragile, so easily harmed. You better be careful. I don't want to hurt you, but I will if I have to, so do as I say. And look at you go, you servant, you Sherpa, you proxy, you proctor, you denture, you pal. And you'll be just fine as long as you curtsy. And go fetch the ball from the neighbor's backyard. And go fetch the radioactive component. And go fetch your head to be hung on the wall. And that's how they train you. That's how they sell you the option to live in a thrall. Number 10. The option to live in a thrall isn't new. Chickens do it all the time. Domestication, an early skill. Remember the crown, the cowboy hat, the cat o' nine, the judge's bench, the IRS, the numbered tat. Remember your crown just after birth, so soft the bones could separate and you could trade auras directly with space. Remember your skull hardening with age, ossification. Remember your will softening with strain, domestication. Remember realizing you were alive. Remember you breathe regardless. Anyway, thought I'd share those two. Maybe I should be able to come for about a month before they start making me dance around a room again. And and I'm looking for a little pressed to publish that as a chapbook if anybody has any ideas. It really did turn out nice. And everybody have a good something.
Richard, wow. Nice to see you again. It's been too long. Let me know who I can write to get them to change the performance group's rehearsal date to like Wednesdays or something like that so we could see you on a regular basis. I'm willing to sign anything. Writing for 15 hours straight, pretty impressive. Waking up at 5:55 in the morning for any reason, also very impressive. I didn't even know they had one of those in the morning, 5:55s. I love that you threw down with the formalist, or you were ready to throw down with the formalist. Nice. And I especially loved the phrase "you denture" as like something that you would insult someone, call someone. That was amazing. You denture. I'm going to be calling people that just for a while now, just to see what comes of that. Really nice to see you again, Richard. Thank you so much for being here. Round of applause for Richard Loringer. If we don't see him here, we know he's dancing in a room somewhere. On deck, Jared Campbell. Please welcome Christopher T. George. Hello, Christopher. Christopher, are you there? We can't hear you. No audio from Christopher T. George. Okay, Christopher, I'm going to mute you again and ask that you check your audio settings by going to the audio menu and using the test function that is there. And see if you can get that fixed. And we'll come back to you. Let me know if you've got that sorted out. So we will say that Bill Gaines is on deck. And please welcome now Jared Campbell. Hello, Jared.
Hello. So I've got Ardbeg Wee Beastie is my first poem, which is which is a very nice Islay Scotch whiskey. Ardbeg Wee Beastie. What does hope taste like? Is it oily? Smoky? Does it burn the throat? Does it taste the same as worry? When the heartburn comes, when the acid comes to break something apart, but doesn't find what it wants, and passes the sphincter to destroy the esophagus, its only source of nourishment, is that a kind of hope? Or is that something different? When the sphincter relaxes and lets the acid do its thing, is that a kind of hope, or is it worry? Is worry sometimes relaxation, a letting in and letting out of destructive forces? No, again, that sounds like hope. Should it worry me that I can't feel the difference between the two? Or is it not so strange? Hope and worry are both future orientations, ways of anticipating. Perhaps they both taste like acid reflux. How does hope come? Does it fall like rain the way worry does? A sudden breaking of the heavens that saturates and clings and sharpens and chills? Or does hope come up like acid reflux, starting in the stomach and climbing relentlessly, defying gravity and causing ever more discomfort the way worry does? Or does hope come like the smoky aftertaste of Ardbeg, peat so light it only persists as an idea, a memory resurrected to a present life, the way worry does? And then the second poem is a triolet called The Robin Hatchling's Cheep. Darling, go back to sleep. The sun will never rise. The robin hatchling's cheep is gone. Go back to sleep and dreams and dreaming sweep through starless asphalt skies. Go back to sleep. The sun will never rise.
Jared, nice work tonight. Thank you very much. I appreciate the Ardbeg reference. I didn't actually, I have a really nice bottle of Ardbeg downstairs. I love super peated whiskeys. We didn't actually make it to Isla on this trip, and so and all the other distilleries that I went to, I kept saying, "Well, what do you have that's peated?"
Yeah.
So it's a shame that I didn't make it to the peated area of the country, but I had plenty of peated whiskey when I was there, so I appreciate that. I didn't know they had one called the Wee Beastie, but so I'm gonna look into that.
It's younger. It's aged younger than most of the others. So it's just it maintains a lot of that peated, smoky kind of flavors, as opposed to mellowing them out with age. So it's only like 5 years old, but yeah, it's quite good.
That is interesting. I was thinking about that. We generally think of the older it is, the better it is. That's sort of the common sensibility about whiskeys or
Yep.
liquor in general. But it does kind of smooth out, and it ends up, I think losing some of that young brash character, the character of youth. So that's so cool. I'm gonna look for the wee beastie,
Yep.
and that's not a metaphor
Yeah.
either. Jared, thank you so much for being here and for your
Yep.
poems tonight.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Jared. Campbell, on deck. Christopher, we're going to try Christopher again. Christopher's, maybe send me a message. Let me know if you got that audio fixed. And so please welcome now Bill Gaines. Hello, Bill.
Hello. Hi, good evening. I am going to lead off. Very new one. This is called fulcrumicity. The great beasts of nature do not need to persuade their prey to become their prey. The best signs at the airport do not seek your attention. And the so-called disruptors of industry are simply no match for the persistence of balance. End of piece. And I think I caught that Heidi mentioned the theme is eggs. And I realized I don't have nearly enough egg content in my poetry, but here's one that mentions an egg. It's called The Tunnel. I dig until I fall asleep. Then I wake up and dig some more, and I dig until I fall asleep again. I can't explain this tunnel. The truth of this moment is irrelevant, for we are on a starship, and we all have our shovels, and we know what to do. Come dawn, we'll know more, but we won't know what we thought we'd know. It's a morning escape to the cold blue sky, the sun as bright as a fried egg with coffee, the towers like spatulas, the stratosphere non-stick, this pastry earth and its flaky crust. Kiss it goodbye, we're aliens now, skipping dimensions like stones on a pond, chasing rabbits down wormholes, living the shift and whistling while we work. End of piece.
Was desperately trying to come up with some egg poem, pun to respond with, and I came up with many, but none of them were related to what you actually said. So I'm going to decline to move forward with that
Back pocket.
idea. What's that?
Keep them in your back pocket. There'll be a time for egg puns.
Hopefully that time is soon. I mean, that's what we've all been striving for, I think, as a society. Bill, nice to see you. Thank you for your work tonight. Well done. Round of applause for Bill Gaines.
Thank you. Welcome back, Rick.
Thank you. Good to be back, whatever time it may actually be. Dig Wayne, you are on deck. We're going to try Christopher T. George again. Christopher, is it working? Doesn't look like it. I see that you've unmuted, but we still can't hear you. So not sure what the deal there is. So sorry, it looks like it's not going to work out tonight. We tried, not sure what happened there. You might need to quit and come back. If you can do that really quickly, we can give it a try. And again, the thing that really tells you whether or not it's working is under the Zoom menu, there's a test speaker and microphone. And if you do that and you speak and then you can hear yourself, it repeats it back to you, then that's how you know it's working. So we'll see. Either I'm on deck or we'll try Christopher one more time. So please welcome now Dig Wayne. Hello, Dig.
Hello, Rick. Hello, everybody. I assume you can hear me. Welcome back, Rick. I was following your exploits over there in Scotland. It's very funny. A lot of really interesting, entertaining photographs. Like you had a good time. I love the one out on the coast, with that big machine. I don't know what the hell that was, but that was a great photograph. Anyway, I got a couple new ones. First one's called Sham Wow. Life can beat you up or down. Either way, there's sunshine at the bottom of the well. Savor the madness, dance out of time. Your youth was a souvenir you had to give back, but no one can take it away from you. Fill your days up with deep pockets of implacable destiny. The truth will always be there waiting when you're exhausted from jackdaws swooping down on your lunch. Thank you. And as it happens, I've got an egg thing here. And I didn't plan it. I just was ready to read it. Then I hear you talking about eggs. It's called, don't get the wrong idea though. It's not about eggs. Medicare Blues. Medicare Blues. I like my eggs runny and my honey's funny. I got a big smile, so they call me Sonny. Brighten up your day as I take your money. I know my rhymes are whack, waiting for a heart attack. Getting long in the tooth, and that's the truth. I can still spit if my mouth ain't dry. I'll steal a beat from my MRI, with or without contrast. Drop the mic on my big ass toe, now I gotta go see the podiatrist, who introduced me to a German psychiatrist. Told me my mind ain't straight, it's not up for debate. Take a seat over there in that rocking chair. Excuse me while I pretend to care. My blood work's been in the red, now I come to find out I'm going soft in the head. Submit me for approval, my chart needs revision. I'm not a doctor, but I played one on television. We're all going to die, but that's okay, Jose. Because I like my eggs runny and my honey's funny. And that's what's up. I thank you.
Addie also is a big fan of runny eggs. Get her a poached egg. She'll like poke into it. If it runs out, it's a successful experience. If it doesn't, it's extremely disappointing, and you have to look at the look of disappointment on her face and deal with that, the weight of that for the rest of the day.
Yeah, you can't reverse that egg being that yolk being hard. You can't reverse it.
You can't. So you're counting on, the brunch chefs of the world to get it right. That machine was at the northwesternmost point of Scotland, on the Isle of Skye, a place called Neast Point. And that machine, I have no idea what it did. I just knew that it was my job to go out there and hold on to that thing, and hopefully whatever needed to happen would happen. And as far as I know, nothing bad happened as a result of my efforts.
I think it looked like it was very rainy and windy and had like a sou'wester on, and that completed it, because it looked like you were out there in weather. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that was the Scotland we were promised, is rain. And so we came with our our raincoats ready to go. And that day was the only day that it was all outdoor activities and hikes and seeing natural things. And that was also the only day that it really rained the whole time. So it was, I guess we had the experience we were supposed to have there.
At least it wasn't 95 degrees, or maybe it was the day after. Who knows?
It was never 95 degrees, but the sun was out a lot more than it should have been there, and everyone blamed us from being from California for bringing it with us.
Yeah, did you bring this weather with you? That's what when I was a kid and someone, did you bring this weather with you? That was the thing that old people would say.
I mean, it was like in the 70s and 80s in Edinburgh, and that we went to a restaurant, and the waiter, who's like a kid, maybe like 18, he was had to tell us how uncomfortable he was in the heat, and it was, he could barely take our order in service. I mean, he was telling us all about how it's just not right.
No, and nobody has air conditioning either. They just
No
have
one
to
does.
suffer. Yeah.
Dig, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your work tonight.
Thank
Round
you.
of applause. Round of applause for Dig Wayne. Okay. One more time, Christopher, trying to unmute you. Is it working?
Yeah, well, you tell me.
There you are. Great.
Oh, okay. All right, then I'm going to do a couple of poems. Some of you may be aware that there's been a big soccer tournament taking place in North America, United States, Canada, and Mexico. I'm going to give you a couple of reflections about tournaments that took place in the past. You should be able to see that. Swiss cheeseheads. Fans of Switzerland wear hats that are holy. Their team progresses in the Euros, even gobbling up a team who are hungry. World Cup semi-final, July 4th, 2006. I'm getting ready to watch Germany and Italy go at it in the World Cup semi-final in Dortmund. But this is the US of A, and ESPN is airing Nathan's hot dog eating contest to celebrate this nation's birthday. Well, the US are out, aren't they? The contestants are stuffing wieners in their mouths, as many as they can get in. I need a drink. They're making me dizzy. Will the laser-hosened country that brought us not first and Matt first do their worst with the Italians? But oh no, they don't. It's shock and awe, a true hot dog contest, as Italy wins with 2 late extra time goals, and the Germans who'd hoped to win on penalties are eaten up like Nathan's hot dogs. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Christopher. Glad we finally got all of that sorted out, and we got to hear you. It was touch and go there for a while,
Yeah,
but
that's right.
The technology gods, we triumphed over them, or they, I don't know. Yay! Thank you so much
thanks,
for your
Rick.
work, and
Always great to be
again,
here.
fantastic. Yeah, again, fantastic T-shirt as well. Round of applause for Christopher T. George, thank you, Christopher. I'm going to close out the reading with 2 poems. This first one is from my most recent book, High Moose Alert. Poems written in Alaska 2 summers ago. This was written at the end of a day that we spent in Denali, the National Park Denali, and we were sitting in a place called Denali Square, and a couple were playing some music. And this poem is called Music in the Square. Sitting in Denali Square, surrounded by mountains which put anything else that used that word to shame. A man and his wife play old songs because that's what they do. Joni Mitchell into Johnny Cash. We're also a man and a wife who sing songs, so this resonates with us. Even this song about the man named Sue with the part about part of his ear getting chopped off in a fight with his father. If you haven't heard this song before, that's a spoiler, and I apologize. We all sing along to Sweet Caroline. They knew we would. Everyone always does. Leroy Brown ends the festivities. They'll be back tomorrow at 5:30 in the afternoon, and every day, all season. They don't mind. They live just up the hill. It's an easy walk. Okay, there's that one. And I'm going to close with a poem that I wrote for this week's Torah portion. It's called All My Journeys. The poem, the title of this week's text in the Torah is Matot Maseh, which means in English, tribes/journeys. And by remarkable coincidence, it mentions New Jersey. Like the ancient Israelites, I have encamped in many places. It all started in New Jersey, but I have no memory of the vows that were said there. My tent moved to Plantation, Florida, where I almost lost track of my ancestors. I remember the sky exploding in 1976. We were nomads, and soon enough we packed it all and found ourselves in Syracuse, New York. This was my mother's promised land. This is where her father and grandfather slept on a stone. This is the place she was told to go. The diaspora called, and California, my holy land. And California became my holy land. This was my wilderness. This is where revelation happened for me. I earned the right to put my feet where I wanted in California. This is where I was given land and forgot about the Canaanites who lived on this hill before me. I became the leader of my own tribe. I made vows left and right. I try to keep them all. I'm as perfect as any leader. All righty. There you go. Everybody, thank you so much. Great reading tonight. I want to say a big thank you again to Laura Cresté for staying up late, though she said she likes to stay up late, which sounds like a more authentic poet thing to say. I get a lot of East Coast poets say, oh, that's way past my bedtime, but saying, oh, 11 o'clock at night, that's my time. So Laura, I appreciate the authenticity there. And you staying up late as well anyway. So thank you so much for your reading. I've pasted the stuff in the chat again. I pasted earlier. You can tip Laura for her reading at the Venmo ID there, download her broadside at the Cobalt Poets website there. Once you're on that website, click on calendar to see who's coming up. Christian Montealegre will be here next week. Looking forward to your reading next week, Christian. Also on that website is our email list. If you're not on it, click on email list and add your email there, and you will get emails every week letting you know who is coming up. There's two links to Laura's book in the Good Years award-winning book on Amazon and bookshop.org and Laura's website as well. Thank you all so much again for being here. It is nice to be back. Though I'm somewhat exhausted still and suffering from jet lag, but this too will pass, I'm sure. I'm going to click on the Ask All to Unmute button if I can find it.
I think we're unmuted. Thank you, Rick. Great evening.
There we go. All right.
Very good evening,
There we
everybody.
go.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful poems, everybody.
Appreciate all you do.
Oh, Rick, I have a Jewish arm of my family from Englewood. My sister converted when she got married. So they're still in Englewood.